Welcome to the Personal Pension Radio Podcast, where it's all about helping you complete your financial journey to retirement. Discover time-tested strategies and get unconventional insights into wealth building and retirement that actually work. Break away from the herd and go for the retirement you dream of. And now, here's your host, the income engineer, Kraig Strom.
All right, back on Personal Pension Radio. Couple of weeks off. You might have noticed. Thank you. I've gotten some feedback and some emails saying, hey, where's your podcast? Well, I've actually been off for a couple of weeks because my voice was shot. I had several speaking engagements, and then on top of that, I already talk too much, according to my wife, and I talk for a living, and it just ruined the voice. People thought I had a cold or a flu or something like that, but no, it was just stress and strain on the voice, and the only real good cure for that is to try and limit things like speaking loudly into a microphone. So, back on Personal Pension Radio after a little time away and to rest the voice. Episode number 184. I really appreciate all the support. This is actually being recorded on Thanksgiving week. You know, the week of Thanksgiving. And I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and just hope you have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah to you. Happy, whatever it might be. I am the income engineer, as you heard in the intro. I am passionate about this idea of retirement income planning. So many people focus on retirement planning and save, invest. The reality is, though, maximum retirement income is ultimately the goal. I mean, if we really want to have a great retirement, and if lifestyle is fueled by income, then isn't the real goal of retirement planning maximum income? That's what I focus on. I love the conversation around retirement income planning. I want to help you pull back this curtain on this mainstream conventional financial ideas to say, hey, there's more to maximum income in retirement than just saving a lot of money. That's a fact. Products do not mean maximum income in retirement. Things like annuities, investments, stocks, real estate, all of these things by themselves are great. I mean, in their own respective positions, but by themselves, none of these things equal maximum retirement income. You've got to have a structured approach. You actually have to have all of those things blended together correctly. You don't have to have all of them necessarily, but if you do, have a number of those things. Investment positions, real estate, life insurance, annuities, etc. If you have those things balanced properly, maximum income is possible. And I mean significantly more than a Wall Street only retirement, right? This show is meant to give you hope for retirement. Hence the title. I actually thought of the title today, Retirement is Possible. Okay? If you're out there listening to this and you're thinking, man, I actually have a lot of money saved up, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, but gosh, I've done the math. I've used these online calculators for retirement, and there's no way I can retire on that. I'm here to tell you that there is a way to improve your situation. If the only thing you've ever looked at is a Wall Street only retirement modeling system, there's more to the world of retirement income than just Wall Street. Folks, I am the income engineer. Please give me that opportunity. If you've got questions about your own personal retirement income plan, send me an email, Kraig with a K, Kraig, at kraigstrom.com, Kraig at kraigstrom.com. Now, there's actually been a couple of naysayers out there in the last several months, naysayers saying, oh, you don't really give out any specific information or specific details about how you're going to get to maximum income, yada, yada, yada. Of course I don't. I am actually a certified financial planning professional. I am not a financial entertainer like Dave Ramsey, who throws out sound bites of sage advice based on 30 seconds of information from a caller. I am an actual certified financial planner. Every person, every couple is unique. A maximum retirement income plan is just that. It is designed as a plan. You've got to have a relationship with a financial planner who is focused on retirement income. The whole idea around this show is to get you motivated and excited about the conversation. And yes, thumbs up for me to be that person to help you. I definitely want to be that person to help you. This show is about giving you access to me and my personality, and then you have an opportunity to say, hey, maybe this is the guy that I want to have him take a look at our situation. And then you send me that email, and then we connect. And that's what I'm here for. So now, quick disclosure, I want to make sure I am not an attorney. I am not a certified public accountant. As I mentioned, I am a certified financial planner professional. All that being said, please don't act on anything that you hear on my show as if you've heard advice for you in your specific situation, because you haven't. Unless we've talked directly, this is general overview of things, general information. And especially, please don't act on things that you hear from financial entertainers like Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey or any of these other folks that are out there that are throwing out financial advice under the umbrella of the First Amendment without any licensing or regulatory oversight. Please meet with a qualified financial planner. And I would love that person to be me. But either way, make sure that you meet with a certified financial planner if you can. They follow a strict code of ethics. We follow the ethics of integrity, objectivity, competence, education to get that competence, fairness, confidentiality, and professionalism. These are all marks of a certified financial planning professional. Now, let me jump in with, because this is the holiday season, Christmas coming up fast. I want to give you a deal of the week. A deal of the week, something to think about as you're out there getting ready to jump into the spending money season, Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that fun stuff. I want to give you just a quick tip. I love these two websites just because of what they are and what they do and how they automate shopping and finding discounts. The websites are Honey and Ebates. So I think a lot of people have heard of Ebates because the company, since it was sold to a big company, it's now being advertised on TV and all over the interweb and all that. But Honey is a similar program. So what both of these programs do is they help you find discount codes and coupons for thousands of different websites all around, the interweb. You simply you go to Honey or honey.com or ebates.com, and they let you load up a plugin for your web browser. Let's say you use Google Chrome like I do. So Honey and Ebates, they load this plugin into your web browser. And then let's say you go to your favorite electronics website, whatever that might be. You go to a website because you're shopping for Christmas presents. Well, that plugin from Honey automatically pops up. If they have a source to a discount coupon or a discount code associated with that website, with that store that you're shopping on, they automatically provide the code for you. It just happens automatically. When you shop on Amazon, there's a discount code that can pop up for multiple different things on Amazon. We got Best Buy, you've got all the electronic stores, Walmarts, you've got all of the department stores. Honey and Ebates is this automated coupon clipping service, basically, that if you insist on paying retail, if you insist on shopping in the big retail hype of Black Friday and all of that, make sure that you're at least getting the best deal possible, right? That way, with these two programs, you go to your preferred stores and the app automatically alerts you to discounts that are available. I've experienced it because I checked them both out. Keep in mind, remember, I just can't stand paying retail, so I'm already hunting for a deal, but I do have them loaded on my computer just in case. I mean, really, just in case. Why not, right? Why not find a discount code for something that's going to give you, even if it's just 10% off, even if it's just a few percent, if it's an easy automated process that whammo, you got a discount, try it out. Called Honey and Ebates. Ebates. And honey, of course, like you get more flies with honey. So, first segment, watch your step. Watch your step. As a reminder, this is my area, the area of my show where I'm looking at the world right with you. At the same time, I'm just paying attention from a different perspective to say, hey, watch out for this. Watch out for that. You know, I read this or I heard this on the TV or on the radio. You know what? That just smacks this way for me. Maybe you might want to be aware of it. Well, on the last episode, I actually shared a quote, this quote from David Foster Wallace, that I want to share again because it really ties in so much with the message of this show, that we get so wrapped up in our little world that we forget to pay attention, right? So David Foster Wallace said this, right? He was arguing against this unconsciousness that we all have. And so here's what he said. He said, there are two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming the other way. The older fish nods at them and says, "Morning, boys. How's the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit. And then eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, "What the hell is water?" Right? Think about it, folks. We are surrounded by sources of information like this podcast, but just information overload everywhere. And one of the things that I get a question often is, why haven't I ever heard that before, Kraig? Why haven't I ever heard some of these things that I might share with clients and prospective clients and listeners of this show? Well, the answer is that the conventional wisdom is marketed by Wall Street, who controls the marketing dollars to almost $20 billion. $20 billion in marketing. So if you've got me out here on my little podcast just shouting as loud as I can, it's very difficult to overcome Money Magazine and Forbes Magazine and CNN and CNBC and MSNBC and Fox News and you name it. All of those places are inundated with Wall Street's virtually bottomless checkbook, just advertising the holy crap out of the message that benefits Wall Street. So, pay attention to the water that you're swimming in. Pay attention to the world around you and realize that there is more out there, that there is more around you. There's more information out there. You just have to pay attention, right? And please, once you find out, share it with others. Please share this podcast, share other good podcasts that you find that give you an alternate perspective on the world around you. Okay? Now, this week, I want to mention, of course, it is the season to go out of control and shop till you drop. Please watch out for that credit card spending, right? Please pay attention to the season itself. And I'm going to give you my little take on the world as it relates to Christmas and the holiday season for us and my family, right? And I'm going to share this story in hopes to set the stage for you. Maybe it'll give you a little different perspective on the shopping season that is happening right now. And I'm going to tell you the story about my daughter's first dance recital. My daughter's first dance recital. She was, at the time, she was 4 years old, and her mom and her grandma said, "You've got to buy her flowers. You know, when you go to a recital or the ballet or whatever, you got to buy flowers. You got to bring the star of the show flowers." Well, I went out and looked at flowers, and I couldn't find anything for less than 20, 30 bucks. I'm not going to bring her just a little bunch of weeds or something, right? So I'm looking at flowers and like $30, $40 for a decent bouquet of flowers. And then it hit me. And then I realized, like, what am I doing? I'm about to spend, 40 bucks on flowers for a 4-year-old, and these flowers are going to be dead in a couple of days. They're already dead, right? And here's what happened. I said no. And Grandma and Mom got all upset. You've got to buy her flowers. I said, I am not buying her flowers. Not a chance. I will think of something else. So that day, I just happened to be that particular Saturday before the big recital, I was hanging out with my dad. My dad was still with us at the time. My dad has since passed away. Cancer got my dad at 58 years old. Ugh. So my dad and I were hanging out, though, and we went to Sam's Club. We went to the big Sam's Club. And I had mentioned to my father, hey, Dad, I got to figure out something different for Madeline, something other than a dead bouquet of flowers for a 4-year-old. And so we're just walking along, and my dad called me back, and he said, hey, come here and check this out. And it was one of those big 4x4, big giant baskets of merchandise. And in this case, it was this huge bin full of one-eyed flying purple people eaters. Yes, the song, the one-eyed flying purple people eater. And my dad had picked it up, and it was a good size thing. It was like the size of a volleyball, but it had one big googly eye in the middle, and it had a cape. It actually had a cape on it, and it had like horns on the top, and one-eyed flying purple people eater. And you press the little button on it, and it sang the entire song. The one-eyed flying purple people eater song. It was so hilarious. I bought that thing. And that was going to be my daughter's gift for her recital that night, okay? And by the way, at Sam's Club, I think it was $10. I forget what it was. It was like $10 or $12. It was nothing, right? $10, I believe. Now, fast forward to that night. Oh, Mom and Grandma were like, what? You're going to give her what? No, don't worry. I got it. I've got something for her. What are you going to give her? No, I've got something for her. So after the recital, they gave her flowers and took pictures and stuff. And then I went to my car and I got the one-eyed flying purple people eater that her papa had picked out, really. And we gave her the one-eyed flying purple people eater. She absolutely loved it. And guess which toy, among only a few that have survived her entire young life, now into her 20s, yes, you guessed it, the one-eyed flying purple people eater no longer sings the song because the little mechanism doesn't work. But do you know what stuffed animal she just won't get rid of? The one-eyed flying purple people eater. Absolutely. When you look at this season, right? You look at this season and you're thinking about spend, and buy, and you're going to get this gift and that gift. Well, I'll tell you what. The idea of really a thoughtful gift for me, it came after my daughter's 3rd birthday, right? So that people eater was on her 4th birthday. And Madeline's 3rd birthday was so crazy because she has grandparents and friends and moms and dads and cousins and such. And she had so many presents. She fell asleep. She almost fell asleep at the table opening presents. So from her 3rd birthday on, right, that revelation of the merchandise mentality for birthdays and Christmas, something changed in me. Way back when she was just 4, it just snapped in my mind. And from her 4th birthday on, I stopped getting her any significant quantity of wrapped presents. From then on, she and I would have a daddy-daughter experience for her birthday and for Christmas. And it was probably the most bonding thing we ever did as a daddy-daughter kind of thing, right? I started thinking differently about this commercialized merchandising mentality of Christmas and birthdays. And we started doing events together. We started doing experiences together. Sometimes the experiences were completely free. Sometimes they were fairly expensive. Sometimes they were just middle of the road. The cost wasn't the issue. It was the event itself. And we built some amazing memories and an awesome bond over those experiences. So I share this in the Watch Your Step. This week is all about merchandising and marketing and just tugging at your emotions and getting you to spend money. If you take a moment and step back and think about it for a moment, maybe you'll find your own one-eyed flying purple people eater, or maybe you'll find your own daddy-daughter, mommy-daughter experience, right? Father-son, whatever it is. Think a little differently with your gift giving, and it will go a very long way. I absolutely believe that. And now I have to throw this in because it is the Christmas season and the holiday season. Freeze your credit, right? I offered somebody the e-money system, and I mentioned this before, but I offered the e-money system to all of my listeners and my clients. It's an awesome financial planning portal online. It's great stuff. And these folks said, well, I don't know, are you concerned about data privacy and identity theft? And my response was, your data is not secure anywhere, right? Here in California, car theft is no longer a felony. Things like mail theft have gone sky high, right? If car theft isn't a felony, stealing all of your, mail out of your mailbox to get your credit cards and all of your pay stubs and whatever you've got, right? I had a ratty old storage box stolen out of my truck last night. Report it to the police? Yeah, right? Why bother? My sister was T-boned by a hit-and-run driver, and the authorities did very little to pursue the matter because there isn't a significant penalty. There's no major penalties. So if stealing your identity is no big deal for criminals these days, maybe you want to freeze your credit. Maybe you really want to actually freeze your credit. It's so easy. You send me an email, Kraig@kraigstrom.com. I'll send you back the links that I have to the 3 credit bureaus that you can easily freeze your credit. If you need credit again, it's very easy to thaw your credit, right? And new legislation passed that it's free. It doesn't cost anything to freeze your credit anymore, right? It's easy. Folks, at the Christmas season, please freeze your credit. It's the perfect identity theft season. This is when it's going to happen. All those criminals out there going for the easy, the grab off your porch, your credit card is just as vulnerable. Now, listener questions here. I get this last episode. Great question. If you haven't listened to it, it was about hard money lending. What is hard money lending? Go back and listen to the last episode, 183. Really good information in there. I am a big fan of hard money lending and real estate in that respect. I love it. Okay, so now this week, listener Felix. Shout out to Felix. Hey, Felix. Felix booked an appointment to review his personal situation, and I wanted to share some observations with you. Okay? And by the way that worked is Felix actually sent me an email, Kraig@kraigstrom.com, and said, hey, I'd like to review my personal situation with you. And I send him back an email, and he booked and automatically booked it right onto my calendar. It's super easy. So here are my observations about my conversation with Felix. Number 1, no excuses. If a single truck driver guy, working hard, every day, work. If a single truck driver can save up the money in investment accounts and enough to buy 3 good quality rental properties, what's your excuse? Right? What's your excuse? Regardless of your net worth, I hear similar things all the time. People diminish their personal accomplishments. They put themselves down. I'm guilty of it. I put myself down all the time. We have this self-incrimination thing or this self-deprecation, self-deprecation. I forget the words. I hear it all the time. People belittle themselves and their own accomplishments. To Felix, I say, congratulations. 2 paid off rental properties that cash flow and a 3rd with a perfect mortgage on it. Great job. Perfect mortgage, you say, Kraig? Right? You're like, mortgage, perfect mortgage, right? Dave Ramsey says debt is dumb. Why would you say that a mortgage is great? Well, let me tell you this, okay? Number one, all debt is not dumb, right? Dave Ramsey's comment that debt is dumb as a blanket statement, I think that's dumb. That's actually not a smart thing to say because there is good debt when it's used properly, right? While you're working, a mortgage is a great way to enhance the overall return on a rental property. It actually makes the rental return rate of return better when you have a mortgage and it's done right. The tenants are paying for the acquisition cost of the rental property. And in the future, you can pay it off, you can sell it, and you can live in it. But who was paying down the mortgage all along? The tenants. And whose money did you use to acquire and hold the property? The bank. It is an extremely efficient way to hold real estate. The bank puts their money in to buy the property, and the renters pay for the cost of the money to the bank, right? That's so smart. Remember that you don't earn any rate of return. Listen to this again. You do not earn a rate of return on the cash inside real estate or any investment for that matter. Only the investment earns a rate of return. Now that blows some people's minds. Hear it again. If I take $100,000 and I buy a piece of real estate and the real estate is growing in value at 5% a year, how much am I earning on my cash that I use to buy the real estate? 0. I'm earning nothing on the cash. Only the real estate is earning a rate of return. And the only way you get your cash back out is to sell it or refinance it or finance it in general, right? Only the investment earns a rate of return. So in real estate, when you use the bank's money to acquire the property, you're earning the same rate of return on the property itself, and the acquisition cost is the interest on the loan. And if you have renters in your rental property, they are paying for the acquisition cost on the property, right? So my advice to Felix was actually tied into watch out for the water around you, right? The stock market, because as I mentioned, Felix has got some investments out there. The stock market can pull back very quickly and before you have time to react. And you can lose a significant amount because the market moves in a very unpredictable way. So the water around you might be very comfortable and cozy because the stock market's gone up and up and up and up, right? Be aware of the situation. Make sure that you're prepared. Maybe consider exiting some of the investment world that is risky right now. Focus on the rental property. It's still risky, but you know it well. You know, Felix knows it well. He's done great. Remember, what's your excuse? Felix is a truck driver with 3 rental properties. How many do you have? Right? That's awesome. Consider also using debt properly to acquire houses today and let renters pay for them, right? Perhaps taking advantage of the next real estate opportunity cycle to use some of the equity in properties to buy new properties of course, used properties, but new used properties. Consider the best use of those properties in retirement may not be as houses. What does that mean? Rental properties in retirement may not be the best way to run a retirement income plan because of the 4 T's of real estate. Taxes, toilets, trash, and tenants means big headaches and great risk sometimes for retirement income plans. Sometimes it's better to get to a point where you build up the rental properties and you let the renters pay for the acquisition cost and the houses appreciate in value, and you get into a retirement income season and you sell the houses. And then you go buy a good guaranteed annuity and take guaranteed income that's greater than the houses by themselves with no headaches, right? That could be a plan. But while you're working now, you're able to build up rental properties. Awesome. Congratulations again, Felix. I love it. Thank you for your support. Thanks for listening and really appreciate the question. That was awesome. Now, quick retirement income reminder. I say this all the time. Wall Street's plan is for you to keep as much money in Wall Street as possible. So what does Wall Street's retirement income plan look like? Well, it looks like this. Let's say you have $500,000 in an IRA and you walk into a Wall Street only investment advisor and you say, hey, I want to know how much income I can take out of my plan when I retire. Well, the answer is almost always 4%. 4%? That's $20,000 a year. Yep. 4%. Why would it only be 4%? Well, we don't know what the stock market's going to do next year and 5 years and 10 years, so we better be very careful with how much you take out. Isn't it convenient that Wall Street's go-to plan, the 4% rule, is designed to keep more of your money in Wall Street, right? Because I've said this before, Wall Street has no financial incentive to teach you how to take money out of Wall Street. If that's the case, and that rings true for you, then you've got to talk to a financial planner who is not afraid to have a conversation about something other than just Wall Street when it comes to designing a retirement income plan. A comprehensive retirement income strategy will include more than just investments, and done correctly, can yield up to 60% or more than a typical investment-only plan. Get your own retirement income analysis done sooner than later. I'm your guy. I love this stuff. Send me an email, Kraig@kraigstrom.com, and that's going to wrap it up. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a fantastic Black Friday. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Personal Pension Radio podcast. We took notes for you, so if you missed any part of the show, you can find a full transcript of each episode at personalpensionradio.com. Be sure to download your free retirement income crisis report at personalpensionradio.com. While you're at it, we would appreciate some iTunes love. Please leave us a fantastic rating on iTunes by going to personalpensionradio.com/iTunes. Thanks again for listening. Now for the disclosure. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not intended for solicitation, sale or purchase of any security or financial product. Be sure to first consult with a qualified financial advisor and your tax professional before implementing any strategy discussed here. The term personal pension refers to a marketing name designed to educate future retirees and retirees about the economic principles behind creating their own pension-like income. The term personal pension is not intended to be confused with a defined benefit pension plan offered by an employer or by a government entity.